Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to Allotment of the Dead. Getting on for just after 6, and I've come down to the plot because I want to show you one of the varieties of chilies that I've got growing, and I can harvest some today. Most of my chilies, or a lot of my chilies, are very hot, but one of the varieties is a kind of general animal variety that makes absolutely fantastic chili powders. So that variety is called Targu Mures. So Targu Mures is like I say, it's an animal variety, and it's grown because it's got these really good flavours and depth of flavour, which makes it really good for chili powders. Let me just show you. Okay, so this is Targu Mures. It's like I said, it's kind of looks a little bit like a serrano kind of chili. It's an annum variety. You get these absolutely gorgeous, nice, almost bullet shaped pods, which are really nice in terms of their flavour. They're kind of approaching cayenne levels of heat. And the good thing about this particular chili is the powders, or when you actually desiccate this into a powder, it makes an absolutely fantastic hot paprika. So this chili itself is from the home of Count Dracula, so Transylvania in Romania, and they're named after the place that they're actually originally grown. So Targu Mures is a place in Romania, in that Transylvania region. But for me at the moment, what I'm going to be doing is taking some of these, harvesting quite a few, and then what I'm going to do is dry them off. I'm going to try and use the dehydrator to do that, and so I can get a relatively nice, swift kind of dry chili I can then use to make a really nice paprika. So that's my plan for tonight. Right, let's get on and harvest a few of these, and I'll show you what I've got, and we'll maybe look at the dehydration later. So we'll see you very shortly. Okay, I've got me a nice basket full of Targu Mures peppers, and I've got a few Komodo dragon kicking in there as well. So we'll take those back, and we'll do a bit of drying. Okay, I didn't manage to get back to these chilies on the day that I picked them, so it's the kind of next day now, and we've got to prepare these for the dehydrator. So I've got the dehydrator plates here, and we're going to basically dry these chilies out. So these were the Targu Mures Romanian Transylvanian Count Dracula style chilies that make a really good paprika. So that's kind of what we're going to try and make with these. That chili powder, because that's all paprika is kind of a specific chili pepper that's been turned into a powder. So the first kind of part of this will be to, first of all, probably take the top off, remove the seeds from it, and we'll stick it on these plates so that we can get dehydrating. So there are many different ways potentially that you can actually dehydrate chilies. So this is only kind of one of them, and it's kind of the most, in some respects, upmarket ways of doing it. Although if you buy a dehydrator, you only have to buy it once, and you can use it for so many different things. We've dehydrated cucumbers and basil, and you name it, you can pretty much dehydrate. So what we'll be doing here is with these is using the dehydrator, but you can also use the oven. But again, quite a few of the ovens don't really have a low enough setting really to actually dry these out quite slowly, because that's kind of what we wanted to do. If you dry it out too quick, there's a good chance that you can actually singe the outer surface of the skin, and so too high a temperature as well can be quite damaging to the actual pepper. Although some of the kind of the darker peppers, the mulatto kind of peppers, they do well with a kind of higher temperature, because you get that kind of smokiness taste to the chili. But the other method, I've nearly forgot, is we can use these Hessian bags. So over the last couple of years, there's been probably about 10-15 of these bags hanging up with various different chilies in, drying out, ready to use for chili flakes and also for chili powders. Again, relatively cheap. Get them from Amazon. Not sure where else you can get them locally. Probably something like Argos or something like that. Okay, let's just have a swig of hot chocolate. It's one of those days today for something quite warming. Right, so what we'll do is we'll take the tops off these, and then we'll cut them down the length. Really sharp knife this is, absolutely really good knife. And then what we want to do is take the seeds out. So you can see there the seeds all the way along the length of the chili. Quite a large amount of seeds in Annam varieties of chili, more so than Chinese varieties. So what I'm going to use is a spoon. It kind of is a good way of getting into all those little nooks and crannies that are potentially in these round chilies. So if you imagine, if you go from the pointy end towards the calyx end and just scrape all the seeds out. So it gives you a few different options, but then potentially those seeds that you are collecting from here, you can actually use those for next year's seeds. Okay, so what we'll do then is we'll just place it face down on here. Reason why I'm taking the seeds out is purely because they don't particularly grind very well. So once you've dried everything out, that next step of actually using a grinder to make the powder, you're often left with quite a few seeds kind of kicking around. So these Targu Mures chilies are really quite full of seeds. All right, so I will carry on and do this. I've got quite a few to get through. On top of that, I did harvest some other chilies. So these are the Ahi Nortano chilies. Again, really nice chili. Only between about 1,000 and 5,000 Scovilles, supposedly, although the last one I tried was quite hot. So these are, again, something I'm going to try and dehydrate and try and make a different chili powder with this. These should be quite a mild chili powder. But yeah, flavour wise, it should be, because it's a Ahi variety, there'll be a certain amount of kind of perfumey flavour to these. I'll give that a taste at some point, probably within this video. We'll see how that goes. And these chilies here are more like a cayenne. So these are around, I don't know, about 20,000 Scovilles. So not a massively hot chili, but enough to make a really nice chili powder. Right, I will carry on and do this, and then we'll get back to you. Okay. I think you might have noticed I'm wearing gloves this time. The last time I prepared chilies, I didn't. And I kind of regretted it, probably for about 2 days afterwards. I managed to clear a lot of seeds from quite a few chilies, made a few ferments, and they were hot chilies. And the thing about really hot chilies is they're full of oil, and that oil is full of capsicum. So, or it is capsicum. So, when it comes to actually washing my hands afterwards, I thought I'd done that, and you get that kind of schoolboy error where every mucous membrane potentially that you might accidentally touch, kind of eyes, nose, mouth, anything potentially where that particular layer of skin or cells is quite thin, you're going to generally know about it. So that's kind of what happened. But because they were also really, really hot chilies, I had that added bonus of my hands, the skin on my hands being affected for again about 2 days. And every so often, I got this intense burning between my fingers and at certain parts of my hands. And it actually got worse whenever I washed up. So that little, almost that heat of the water, almost like reactivated the capsicum. So I kind of suffered for about a couple of days with my hands burning. So even though these aren't particularly hot chilies now, I'm not making that same mistake. So I've put on some gloves. A few pence from Amazon is probably going to be a good idea in terms of saving you pain in the long run. It's fine gaining the pain when you're trying them, but when you don't want it, it takes you by surprise a bit. Right. Okay, so that's all of the Targu Mures, all nicely laid out on the dehydrator plates. Absolute masses of chili seeds in these animal varieties of chili, and I'm going to probably save a few of those for seeds for next year. Again, like I said, there might be an issue potentially with these maybe not growing true. I've had some really hot chilies around these as well, so maybe the resulting chili from these might be a little bit hotter, but we'll see what happens. I've also got all the tops. Can't really do anything with those, so I'll get rid of those. Okay, what I will do is try a little bit off the tip of this. I'm not going to go mad on chili today. Had a little bit of heartburn, so we'll see how that goes. And you can see from my gloves that capsicum, even though these aren't particularly hot chilies, they do have that certain kind of oil inside them. So okay, we'll try this. Going to be around 20,000, I think. And yeah, you get that immediate heat with these. But even though it's a small amount, that depth of flavour, they're really quite a rich chili, which again is what makes it really, really good for making paprika. Right, we'll go ahead and we'll start the Enourmous chilies. Just get myself another bowl for the rubbish. Right. Give my spoon a rinse. Okay. Okay, the Enourmous chilies are quite a bit bigger than the Targu Mures, and a really nice, strong, solid chili. I'm not going to cut too much off the top. So again, you've got the kind of the seeds running down the length. But the first thing you notice from this particular chili compared with the last one, even though there's plenty of seeds in there and it feels like there's plenty of oil as well, is the smell difference. So the Targu Mures smells very much like those kind of cayenne peppers that you would normally get, but this one smells really quite perfumed. You get a kind of there's kind of fruitiness about this. So this is only supposed to be about 5,000 at most. That's really quite a flavoursome chili. Heat levels are okay. Yeah, they're not too bad at all. But again, these are thin-walled. This is a Baccaton variety of chili, Ají Nortano, so means northern chili. Again, these should dry out quite well. They are these kind of quite thin, but that flavour is really, really good. All right, we'll lay those out. I might need to cut these down later on before making the powder, as these are quite large pieces, but they should dry out quite well. Again, there's a lot less seeds in these than the Annam varieties, but there's still plenty there, so I will save a few of these again for next year and see what we get. Really like the taste of these Annam varieties. Wow, that's really good. And yeah, quite juicy. It's almost like kind of like a hot sweet pepper. Really, really flavoursome. This is probably going to make a really good chili powder, so we'll see how that goes. Chili and chocolate. Chili and hot chocolate. Ooh, definitely brings the flavour of the chocolate out. Really good. Right, let's carry on. Okay, there's quite a few seeds in this one as well, but a lot less seemingly than the one in the Targu Mures. But again, we shall save some of those seeds for next year. Let me just go and grab some tissue. Okay, easiest way to dry these seeds out, because there's, like I said, a certain amount of juice, certain amount of oils on these seeds. So what we wanted to do is spread a few out on a piece of tissue paper or kitchen roll, and fold them up into it. So in effect, you're getting a nice little package, which will then hopefully dry those seeds out, and then you'll be able to stick them in a little envelope once they've dried out a bit for next year. All good. Again, don't make the mistake of not labeling them. A number of things where I've had bits of kitchen roll or toilet paper with seeds in, and I've kind of not remembered exactly what those seeds were. Right, before we turn the dehydrator on, I'll just do these few. So these are cap Chinese varieties. And I've also got a couple of Bacilla Baggio. So these are Red Savina, Chinese variety. These are Bacilla Baggio, which are a kind of a chocolate brown chili, quite a mild chili. But these chilies are supposed to be quite smoky when they're dried. Again, see here, not many seeds in these. I'm going to save these few that we've got, because again, this is quite a difficult chili to get seeds for sometimes. So we'll dry those out as well. Oh, there's a few more in this one. Okay. Absolutely massive seeds though compared with the others. So you can tell these kind of sweeter peppers, the seeds tend to be a little bit bigger sometimes. But again, there's a certain amount of fruitiness and things about these, so we'll give them a go. So yeah, that's a really nice tasting chili. And again, they do dry really well. There's a certain amount of kind of smokiness even when they're raw. Alright, so this is the variety that they grew or they sold in Tesco's as a super hot. So Red Savina was available for quite a while in Tesco's. Not sure whether they've still got it. So I'm going to try I've got 3 here, so I'm going to dry those as well and see what they're like. Okay, we've got some nice layers of chilies there. So we've got these nice enourmous, and we've got the Targu Mures at the bottom. So we'll turn it on and we'll turn it down to about 50 degrees, and we'll start on 6 hours and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, okay, so that's the chilies nicely onto the dehydrator. We'll come back in a few hours and we'll see how they're looking, and then we'll see if we can take it to the grinder. Could be that they might need a bit longer. We'll let you know as to exactly how long they take in that dehydrator to actually get something that's kind of ready for the next step. So they've got to be dry enough that when you put them through the grinder, that they actually make up that nice fine powder that you're after. Right, we'll see you shortly.